Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio, so today we need to take a little bit of a look at, well, it's a new product which is coming out over in Japan, and quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, this seems to be a pretty gosh darn big deal. This is one of those ones, it's almost certainly going to be sold on a lottery system in Japan, and I am going to be crossing my fingers very tightly indeed that I get picked to get to buy this, because this looks awesome. So what we've got is, it has been officially revealed, and it is apparently called the Pokemon card game Premium Trainer Box EX. This is the one, we saw listings for this before it was released, or, a little while ago now, and it's out. And it comes with a whole bunch of very cool things. Now, it does actually come with 10 packs of Pokemon Scarlet, or Scarlet EX as it's actually called, and 10 packs of Pokemon Violet EX, which is awesome. And, we've seen a bunch of this over the past few days. We don't really need to go into huge detail about this. We've seen this. We know that you can get Koraidon and Miraidon. Although, actually, this is a really nice time to point out. Remember, double sets in Japan are double sets. They're not two different booster pack artworks. They're two different sets. Now, they go together to make one, but if you want Koraidon EX, you've got to buy Scarlet EX. And if you want Miraidon EX, you've got to buy Violet EX, because those cards are only available in those particular packs. That is really very important. I have seen people making this mistake before. I have seen posts of people going, I bought so many packs of this set and not pulled this card, what's going on? And the answer is, sorry mate, you opened up the wrong set. Gutted. So you are getting 20 packs in total, and that's pretty gosh darn cool. But what else are you getting? And I think before we get anything else, we need to take a little bit of a gander at this little collage of cards. And we need to zoom in on those cards on the top, because there's a new kind of basic energy. Every time we get a new block in the Pokemon trading card game, we get a new style of basic energy. This is the new style of basic energy. Yay! And look, it's up to you guys, right? The last time we refreshed the basic energy was in Brilliant Stars. It looked like this. And the Brilliant Stars energy I never really liked it, because those two lines coming out from your energy symbol in the middle always looked like the card was a bit damaged. It always looked like a smudge or a pencil line or something weird going on here. I never really liked them. I like this new energy better. I will say the energy symbols themselves look way more like candy, or sweets if you're British like I am, than they ever did before. And you've got that kind of swirl. I tell you what they look like. They look like Uno cards. They definitely look like Uno. I'm just now Googling Uno to see if I'm just remembering what Uno cards look like differently. Nah, mate, these look like Uno cards. Ha! That's awesome. Oh, I'm loving that. I don't know, maybe they don't. Maybe I'm wrong. But I'm telling you now, ladies and gentlemen, these remind me of Uno cards. And I'm kind of loving it. So yeah. Pokemon TCG / Uno. Oh, that's kind of amazing. Right, so yeah. The new kind of energy. And look, I'm not going to give you an in-depth analysis of basic energy cards for pretty obvious reasons. All I can tell you is, I think they look like Uno cards. That's pretty important to me. And yeah, I think they're kind of cool, honestly. I think they are really kind of cool. Right, so with all of that borne in mind, what else can we see? Well, they've actually got new burn and poison markers. Now, it's a small thing, but it makes me happy. I think they're new, at least. I don't remember seeing this design before. As well as having burn and poison, the poison counter says Dokuon, which is poison in Japanese, and the burn counter has Yakudo written on it, which is burn in Japanese. And as a fun little side note, if you're ever looking to try and translate Pokemon cards yourself, things like poison and burn are always emboldened on the card. So learning what burn and poison looks like on a Japanese card, bearing in mind it's going to be emboldened if it's on there, is actually extremely useful. Shame there isn't a counter for paralysis and confusion. Hey-ho. And then what we basically got is your damage counters. Remember, I've said this before, over in Japan, they actually use proper damage counters. We don't, incidentally. We generally tend to use dice to track damage, but if you go and play in a Japanese tournament, I can't guarantee it, but there's a very good chance your opponent is going to be using an actual damage counter, or, you know, a set of damage counters to track the damage, which I've always found kind of awesome. I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. I've always thought that was extremely cool. So yeah, that's a thing. And then there's a whole bunch of cards. Now, I don't believe any of these cards are new, per se. There is one that looks kind of new, but then we realise it's just Professor's Research Professor Turo that we saw coming around in, well, I showed you the other day, that's just coming in the set. Although I also told you Professor Sada's better, and it makes me a little bit sad that Turo's in this box, not Sada. Doesn't really matter, but it's just there. But then we have a look, and actually what they've gone and done is they've given you really good cards. So you've got Boss's Orders Cyrus there. It's Boss's Orders. That's a staple in like every deck. So the fact that you get it in this box is just good, because it means you're getting access to that card. It's a gusting card. You gust up one of your opponent's Pokemon. This is a good thing, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very good thing indeed. You've got yourself Roxanne there. That's that comeback card that, if you are behind in the game, or actually even if you're not behind in the game, all you need to do is have an opponent with 3 or fewer prize cards remaining, and then it shuffle up and your opponent gets 2 cards and you get 6, which is kind of awesome, honestly. We've got Serena there, which is either a little bit of a draw engine or gusting. It can function as either of those things. There were only Gust Pokemon V, which is the worst when you compare it to Boss's Orders. But outside of that, it's arguably just a better card, because if you draw it in the early game, you can just use it and draw some cards. And that's a very, very good thing indeed. These are good, playable cards that you're going to want to be using in a whole bunch of different decks. And this is fantastic. I love that they're doing this. But there's actually, now this is just kind of what's in the image here. But if you then go on to the article, it shows you that Irida's coming. Irida's coming. Irida's a great card. Because Irida, of course, lets you search for a water Pokemon and an item card. And that's super duper useful, ladies and gentlemen, when you are trying to get set up with any of these water decks. So that's really, really cool. We can see that Path to the Peak is there, that really awesome stadium card that turns off abilities. That's a really good thing. We know that Ultra Ball's getting a reprint in Scarlet and Violet, and that reprint of Ultra Ball is being featured in this box here. By the box, get yourself Ultra Ball. That's pretty gosh darn cool. But then we got some Pokemon. We got the Mew from Celebrations, which, as we've talked about before, is a really good, it's a setup Pokemon. When it's in the active, you look at the top 6 cards of your deck, find an item card, put it into your hand. Decks use this to set up. So being able to have, just easy access to this card, that's a really good thing. We've got Luminion, the Pokemon that when you play it from your hand onto your bench, you get to go and search yourself out a supporter card. That's really good. That doesn't see much play as it has in the past, because a lot of decks nowadays do have other ways to go and get their supporter cards, but it's still a very cool card. You've got your Flaffy there that can accelerate lightning energy, and please bear in mind that Miraidon is a lightning Pokemon and will want some lightning energy accelerated to it. So that's a really very, very good thing here now, isn't it? And what this basically all adds up to here is just a box that first of all gives you your packs, and that's lovely. Second of all, gives you these counters, some of which are actually new, and that's lovely. And then thirdly, gives you all these playable cards. And I'm well aware that if you're watching this video and you're not in Japan or playing in Japan, then sure, the fact that these really playable cards are coming is going to be less of a big deal to you. I understand that, I promise you I do. But then, by the same token, we've also got V-Star Universe, and this is a product which is intended for Japanese players in Japan. So what that means is that, if you buy something like this and a couple boxes of V-Star Universe, you're going to be able to make like a lot of really good decks very, very cheaply. And the barrier for entry, if you're a player over in Japan right now, is hilariously low. And I love it. And it is great for the health of the game. Although a quick reminder that over in Japan, tournaments are very much oversubscribed. And, you know, even these tournaments are like 1,800 players. Yeah, there's a lottery system. You have to enter a lottery to get the chance to play in these tournaments. So arguably they don't need to lower the barriers to entry because it's already massively oversubscribed. So maybe getting into tournaments is going to be a problem. But you know what isn't going to be a problem, ladies and gentlemen? Playing and getting decks. That is going to be easy. Right, this is cool. This is awesome. But now it's over to you guys. I want to know what you think about this. I want to know all of your opinions. I want to know anything you want to tell me. So let me know in the comment section. Would you go nuts? Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel. You can get some bonus podcasts where I answer all of your questions. You can join a Discord and chat with us about Pokemon or anything else. And you can get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely James Sierpinski, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now. So thank you very much for the support and for being a very lovely person. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.